Well, Steve, you and I did an early preview look at Rise of Ronin, and now it's time for the full review. Let's dive in, because there is a lot to talk about. This is a Team Ninja game. We've been having a good time, but yet there's just a couple little things that are just not pulling its weight. It's not pushing it to its full potential, I think, at the end of the day, right? It's so hard not to compare this to Ghost of Tsushima when you're playing the game. I know they're two different studios, two different games, but at the same time, here's my biggest gripe right off the hop. My character is just a mindless NPC. And that hurts, right? Where you go to Ghost of Tsushima, and the dude is so full of life. He's got energy. He's believable, right? My character just walks around in Rise of Ronin, hacking and slashing at absolutely anything that moves. And it is a ton of fun. But when you get into the story beats, there's just like not enough there for her to say. Like you can go either way with your character design. And the way I went, dude, she barely says anything. It's like I got Link. I'm playing with Link here, man. It's just like this doesn't pull its weight. I feel it's just empty inside, right? I think the overall story, is actually really cool. I think the characters you meet are really cool. Like there's a lot of highs to this game, but at the same time, Steve, just the character herself is just so empty and dead inside, and it just sucks. If they can make that character more believable, dude, this would have rose my score up higher for sure. That's my early thoughts on this before we actually dive real deep, because there is a lot to talk about. Steve, where are you at?
I'm probably about 22 hours in, and I think once we've done the preview, I think we played probably about 5 or 6 hours. I think it was around there.
Yeah.
And it starts off strong for me. I mean, like I know what you mean about the character doesn't say anything. You do all the customization, and like you, I believe it lacks the personality of your player, and it's not the main focus. It's the history of Japan. But starting off graphically, it goes hit and miss for me. But we had texture issues, didn't we? Popping in on certain bits. But then as I'm playing more and I'm on my steed and I'm riding around going to my next mission, the graphics lacked. Like the horse's tail was pixelated. The background wasn't as sharp. It missed depth.
Yeah.
I don't know if because it didn't have ray tracing or anything like that. But I mean, I swapped from on the settings from frame rate to graphical performance, and to be honest with you, I did not see much difference in it at all. And that kind of detracted me from more I was playing.
Yeah, the graphics are, like you say, they're hit or miss. There's moments I'm like, actually, this doesn't look too bad. But it wasn't, like, again, when you go back to Ghost of Tsushima, there's so many moments in that world you're like, whoa. Like, damn, this looks incredible. Where I didn't find anything here looked incredible. I just thought it all looked okay. Like, it's passable, but there's none of that, whoa, wow, look at this, right? Like, there wasn't once where, here's funny, because eventually you get a camera and you're going around taking snapshots and stuff. And for me, it's just like, I didn't really feel I'm such a photo mode nerd that I love to dive into that. There wasn't once here I was like, oh man, I wish I had a photo modes opportunity here, because there is no photo mode in the game. You just hold the camera, take snapshots of certain things, this, that, and the other, which then just give you a different side quest, right? There's so many side quests in this game. But basically the main premise of what's happening is you are I'm gonna beat around that part. There's a focus with your main character, which is really cool. And then the overarching story is that the Westerners are coming in to take over Japan. And some are okay with this, and others are not. And the others want to stop it, and they want to stop it hard. But you really just kind of go around from like, I almost got that Far Cry sense, just like outpost, 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 outpost. The only thing I was missing was climbing to the top and go, but instead, you clear it all out, and then it goes, so it really doesn't matter, right? You kind of get that overall. All of a sudden, you get the cutscene, and it goes from nighttime to daytime, and then all of a sudden, the area you just cleared out has got full of people and things along that line. I love the interactions of the bonds. The way the bonds work is that you actually meet up with other people, and the more you interact with these people, whether that's just a straight-up conversation, you give them a gift, you do a mission with them, it grows that bond, which then turns into a reward at the end of the day.
Yes.
It is cool. other areas are the same effect as well, in a sense. The more you liberate that area, the more you're rewarded. The other details you can get into, the other opportunities and items. Did you buy anything from the black market? Because, dude, I was so leveled up that I didn't need the black market whatsoever.
No, there was... there is a lot of trading posts. There's a lot of merchants walking around, and they're in every village, basically, once you complete that area. And like you said, I sort of looked at stuff and it was like, I've got higher rated, I've got better swords. The only thing I probably did was probably health stuff.
Yeah.
To sort of, as you went along, or you can craft arrows, or you can get your ninja stars. Yeah, shurikens.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was pretty cool, but that's basically all I got from them. But the only good aspect of this is, when you defeat enemy, you pick up their weapons and items. And I found I spent a lot of time either dismantling or selling items, because I sold loads of items, but you don't get many silver coins for them.
Yeah.
And it still wasn't enough to buy certain things that I wanted to buy. So that was quite a cool aspect, but I found it sort of, for me, it broke the momentum of the game up, because I'm sitting there for 5 minutes, just keep going through all the list, whether it's shoes, if it's armor, it's hats, it's swords, guns, weapons, everything. And you collect so much on your travels that you basically have to just sell them off.
You are not short on gear, which I appreciate, right? When you get into this, it's got that RPG-esque kind of feeling, right? Where it does have different weapons, there are different tiers, there's this, that, and the other, which then all play into play styles, which then go into martial skills, which then go into your skill tree. Like, there's a lot of depth when it gets into combat, and it is definitely the highlight of the game. The combat and the depth of the mechanics of what weapons you choose, your play style, and then you go in and set up your martial arts to matter to that, to fit that, to give you those special abilities, which then do certain things. Like, I'm dashing across the screen because I'm using dual swords, because that's the coolest way I've ever played. Like, man, you gotta use the dual swords. Like, let's go.
Yeah.
And like, then there's like one spot too, you go and it shoots like a blade out. Like, there's just so many other aspects to it. They nailed the combat. It is my favorite part of this entire game. Is just going in there. It doesn't. It's not like it's mindless combat, but if you're just going in there and just like, yo, let's go hack and slash some things, because it's not a stealth game. It has stealth elements, but it's not a stealth game, right? So you're able to get in there and do certain things. Dude, like, it's the more I played the game at the end of the day, the more I enjoyed the game. I was just hoping for more out of my own character, I think, is really what it comes down to.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I like the combat as well, but I still had some camera issues sometimes when you're fighting the enemy and you get trapped into the corner and it's very hard to see where they are because it's so zoomed in. But I want to quickly touch on as well about the items you can pick up. Is I was not happy that when you want to change your outfit, you can't do it on the go, or your swords. You get the level up experience, it still increases it, but you have to go to the longhouse to physically change the items to actually see what you're wearing. And I wish I could change the outfits as I went, instead of keep transporting or fast traveling to the longhouse just to change the appearance of my character or its weapons.
Yeah, it's a weird little twist in the thing too, right? I was like, okay, the transmog is there, which I appreciate, because then I can make my character look the way I want her to look, and she looks incredible.
Yeah.
But at the same time, when I get new gear, I want to see what that new gear looks like. But I can't do that until I go back to my longhouse, which then while you're there, dude, you can pet a dog, which then sends out to go get silver for you. You can then talk to the people who are a part of your longhouse. They'll come and visit you at the longhouse. You can customize your longhouse. Like there's so many elements to this game. They're like, we like this part, we like this part, we like this part, we like this, and this of the game, of all these games, and let's just put it in Rise of the Ronin. And it was just like, I was never short on things to do. Like, there's a lot of cool things about this game, right? And that, man, I would like to have been able, I'm already out, let me just see what I look like with this new piece of gear instead of traveling back. Steve, I want to get into one problem that you and I had.
Yes.
This is not a co-op game, but features a co-op feature.
Yes.
And it just sucks. It's straight
I
up.
was disappointed.
It's not what I wanted at all. I know it's not a co-op game. At the end of the day, you might as well just play this as a single-player game, because the way it worked is Steve and I jumped into a game. Well, sorry. We jumped into a mission, not the game.
Yes.
We jumped into a mission. So there's certain aspects, certain missions that you can go in, and you can team up. You can call in for backup. It's kind of got like that Dark Souls, Demon Souls, Elden Ring. You call in for help, right?
Yep.
So we do this little mission area. Very, very small area. It doesn't take us very long. We wipe it out in no time. As we finish the mission, there is an ending cutscene to it all. Steve's in my world, and before we get to that cutscene, it's just over. Poof! Steve's gone. I was like, "Yo, dude, what happened? Did your game crash?" Like, I literally thought your game crashed. And you're like, "No, I just got booted back to my longhouse." I was like, so then you have to sit around and wait for me to start up another mission, which then you can come out and venture on. Like, Steve, what a weird, convoluted system.
Yeah, do you think it was like an added feature they thought of after?
Feels like
it. Because at the end, like you said, you might as well play single player, because you can actually pick NPCs or AI characters that you bond with. So everyone you've interacted with, and they're now your friend, and they'll help you out. You can actually pick them to help you on your missions instead of having your buddy. But the aspect is having your friend is to have that experience and that fun. So it'd be nice to finish that mission, and then it's like you pick the next one, we both ride off together and go to the next point of interest.
Absolutely. Steve, parts of, as we touched on the story, is just okay, but then the other side of it too is there are certain things, if you approach a character a certain way, different outcomes will happen. And I think that's like the change of the dialogue is cool. It feels like you pretty well get the same outcome, but there's certain different dialogue paths and character paths that you ventured down that I didn't, because I took a different path that you did. And I love those. Hey, did you do this? No, I didn't do that because I did this instead. Those are cool, and those are present in here, which is very, very cool. Dude, I've been so on the fence about where to score this game. At the end of the day, for me, it's just everything here is good. It's just not incredible, right? And for me, good comes in at an 8. What about you?
Yeah, I'm with you on this. I'm giving this an 8 as well. I do love the story, the way it was going. Unfortunately, the character didn't have personality. That I didn't really feel connected. I just felt like going from point A to point B, talking and helping other people out. Yeah. Some of the mechanics was okay. Like, I wish I could climb more buildings to get on the rooftop and use my grapple hook a lot more. There's only selective points. But overall, it is what it is. It is a fun game. And I will probably carry on picking at this, but graphically, it was a bit more of a letdown than what I anticipated.
Absolutely.